What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Last time, we concluded the baby arc and began a brand new one. Of course, Yardrat tried to meddle with things in the living world from hell before, but this time, something different's happening. He's going to be creating Super 17. And this, as his final plan of revenge, might actually work. They think this will go well, but who knows, maybe they'll be defeated, or maybe they will win. We'll be seeing in this part. For this video, let's set a like goal of 3,000 likes. If we hit that, I'll continue with another part of the series. Anyways, let's pick it from here. From that portal created to hell, villains began coming to the living world. People who have died before and gone to hell are now back on Earth, causing a ton of chaos together. Thankfully, they're able to be countered pretty quickly, but still, from the sacred world of Kais, Piccolo and all the Kais there watch on. This is getting bad. This is weird too. I mean, a portal to hell opening and bringing everyone back? Oh yeah, they're likely gonna need to intervene at some point. Especially to fix whatever disaster this is. Piccolo might actually have to go back to Earth. They continue watching on as Piccolo begins contemplating a plan. They're not the only ones watching on. Beerus and Whis of course see this as well. Great. More antics with hell. Just what they needed. Well, those mortals can handle it themselves and they should be fine with it. But still, what the hell is happening? Especially with Android 17. Ruta, Jade, and 16 are just as confused as everyone else. And with no better thing to do, they teleport to Goku trying to figure out what to do next. Getting Goku's help was actually good. Maybe they can all go to hell together, or at least just Ruta and Goku. They think 16 and Jade should stay back, because going to hell should be pretty dangerous. I mean, they're going to hell. It's right in the name. So they should leave some people back here, which is good too. Jade and 16 go off, going to help fight any other villains that came to Earth. In one city, there's a pretty surprising opponent. Hit is back from hell. Granted, he's not a pure evil person, but he definitely would be sent there, although it's just a question of which universe he would go to. Since he died in Universe 7, let's say he got sent to the Universe 7 hell. Also because it makes things more interesting as he faces off against Gohan once again, as well as Pan, Jade, Goten, and Trunks. Far away, there's another battle going on. Raditz and Vegeta fight Nappa and the Ginyu Force. Nappa is elated to see both of them again, until he immediately gets wiped out by one single attack from Raditz. Well, Vegeta takes on the Ginyu Force, and it's really nothing at all. More villains continue coming from hell, and with how strong everyone is now, it's actually not that big of a deal. Hit would probably be the biggest threat, but even he wouldn't be too hard to take on now. Although, this isn't everyone. In hell, Goku and Ruta meet two strong people there. Two people from their past that they remember very well. They see Moro and Frieza, a really odd and surprising team-up. They're both delighted to see these Saiyans again, and as for Frieza, he's surprised to see Ruta. Oh, this is something new. After everything she's heard about Frieza and all the stories, she wants to actually take him on. It's her turn to make him pay. While Goku goes to fight Moro, Moro is delighted to see Goku once again, and they fight, but Goku is far stronger than before, and effortlessly, he transforms into Ultra Instinct, and not Omen, he transforms into actual Ultra Instinct. Now that he's back in his normal body, he's finally adjusted and has full control again, making use of all his power and training from beforehand. At first, he didn't really care about being a kid, but now, he's glad that he's back. This makes for a really fun fight against Moro, although he's so far above the magician that it's not really too interesting for him. He wipes out Moro pretty effortlessly, and the same goes for Ruta and Frieza. She's surprised, she expected Frieza to be a lot stronger, but whatever, hey, that's all solved now. Although there's an issue. It seems the two of them are trapped in hell. Oh great, so now they have to deal with that. Back in the living world, all the past enemies have been defeated pretty easily, and Piccolo was even given permission to intervene by the Kais. Which is perfect timing because he's able to free Goku and Ruta from hell, going down there and helping them escape. Side note, I would love to have more villain cameos, especially Zamasu, but he got Hakkai'd, so he's not even going to be in hell regardless. But at least I got to show Hit and Moro again, so it's not just Z and GT villains. But in the living world, there still is one opponent to fight. Well, two of them, but they turn into one. Both the 17s appear, Hellfighter 17 and Regular 17. They don't know why there's two of them, but they're not going to question it, they fought weirder opponents. They watch as the two 17s merge, creating Super 17. 18 is one of the people they're watching on. And around that same time, Ruta and Goku come back. They all watch on astounded, specifically 18, Ruta, and Jade. What the hell's happening to 17? This doesn't even look like him anymore. Vegeta and Raditz don't care. They lead the charge, immediately going to attack Super 17, who holds them off actually pretty easily. Raditz would actually try and defuse them right now. He's able to hit Super 17 at some point, but then he realizes this isn't going to work. He knows he could use Force Spirit Fission to defuse people, but not androids like this. They're both mechanical, or at least Hellfighter 17 is. And 17 is partly mechanical himself. The two of them aren't connected in a way that a normal fusion is. This is a machine essentially that he's fighting. He can't defuse that with Force Spirit Fission. Super 17 is just as amazed. His power is insane. The power of two 17s fused together. No one's going to be able to defeat this power.
Nobody can beat me when I'm Super 17. Prepare to die!
Plus, he can absorb other people's powers as well. They come to find that out pretty quickly. This isn't the first time they've fought someone that could absorb energy, and to be fair, they know how to do it themselves, but still, this means that they can't use any key attacks whatsoever. They need to now rely purely on physical attacks. But Super 17 expected this. He knew that they'd probably start to avoid this once they saw the trick. But who cares, this is fine. This means he could draw them in closer, landing more severe attacks on them. Plus, it makes it nicer for him. He is outnumbered right now, and with so many people coming at him at once, it makes it kind of hard for him to fight altogether. There's only so many people that could be attacking at the same exact time. So this gives him another advantage. Android 16 is standing there, trying to analyze 17 and try and find some sort of weakness. He's been upgraded yet again, and this time, it's a pretty important upgrade. It was inspired by Granola. Granola provided some input for Bulma last time he was on Earth, including some DNA too, which she was able to study. The group found it pretty interesting, specifically 16, and asked if he could try and use his power somehow. Granola doesn't know if it's going to work, but hey, maybe she can make some sort of mechanical replicant. Maybe she could fabricate some sort of eye that's similar to the Cerealians. And she's able to do something. It's not as great as Granola, but she's able to upgrade his eyesight. Before he was able to scan people, but now it's even more in depth, being able to even locate vital points pretty easily, and if given time and focus, he could find this. It's not as quick or precise as Granola's, but it's there, and it's a very valuable upgrade that might help him here, especially since they're fighting a mechanical person and not a real person. But still, even with a collective effort, it's going to be tough. Super 17 is very powerful, more powerful than anyone even expected, even 17 himself. And it's not like he's being controlled by Gero or Mew either. They're both dead by now, easily killed by the others, and 17 didn't really want to be controlled by them in the first place, not like he was going to. But he wasn't going to let them live regardless. Piccolo, Goku, and Ruta retreat for a bit, as the others fight Super 17. They go to meet up with Bardock, wondering if he could fight too. But something weird happens. He turns it down, but he's angered. He's angered at himself, his own weakness. He does want to help. He really does want to join the fight, but he can tell he's just going to get in the way. With how old he's getting now, he feels like it's only just going to slow him down. He felt this in the last fight versus Baby, and now it's still catching up to him. But he realizes there is a way that he could help. He puts both of his hands on Goku and Ruta's backs, lending them a bunch of his power. Despite him not being at his prime strength, he still has a bunch of power in reserve, and he tells them he doesn't want him to sit here and do nothing. This at least means his power can be put to use. And he tells them to go, waste no more time and defeat whatever monster this is. Damn, he knew his daughter should have never married an android. They arrive back at the fight and see the hybrids all fighting together, including Pan and Jade too. And this is one of the first times that Jade's actually showing off Super Saiyan. Considering her age and who she's been training with, she definitely would have it by now, and probably even has enough control over it to go beyond it and even go Super Saiyan 2. Especially with this whole event making her even angrier than before, given who she's fighting. But still, they're not sure what they're supposed to do. Even with all this great power they have, 17 can absorb it in certain ways. And it's not like they could just flat out kill him right here. With how close the group is to 17 here, and I mean the fact that his sister and his wife and his daughter are right there, killing him isn't an option. It still is partially 17. They need to save him somehow and restrain him, which only makes the situation more difficult and more complicated than it was before, if it wasn't already complicated. They're still relying on 16 to come up with a plan, but they need to buy some more time for him, as he continues to analyze 17 and tries to figure out a weakness and some sort of cure for this, if anything. And that's the thing. He thinks there might be a way to reverse this. I mean, this is all mechanical. Maybe he could fix this. Not to mention, if there's any magic involved, they have Piccolo there. Any sort of weird magic from Hell linked to him will be erased for good. Piccolo's already finished closing up the portal to Hell, so all that's fixed. With how powerful his magical abilities are right now, it was actually pretty simple, and he could help out here too. But then, 16 has an idea. Super 17 is just two androids merged together, and if androids merging can influence how 17 operates, maybe he could figure out a way to do that himself. If he merges into 17 somehow. I mean, think about it. He's not a simple robot anymore like the original Android 16. He has regenerative abilities, and his body is made of a bunch of nanomachines. This might actually work. It would be weird and probably uncomfortable, maybe even painful for 17, but maybe he can merge into Super 17, expelling all of the evil influence or taking it within himself. And here's his plan. He's gonna merge into Super 17, absorbing the Hellfighter part of him, then overcoming it. It seems dangerous, but it also seems like their only option besides actually killing 17. And they don't really want to resort to that, so it looks like this is the best way. First, they need a distraction. They need to coax 17 into absorbing energy. Goku and Ruta have the perfect idea, as well as Raditz joining in, with all three of them powering up into Super Saiyan Blue. Vegeta's gonna help assist 16 as well as everyone else. Again, they can't have a ton of people attacking him at once. The three all power up and try and charge the biggest beam that they can. They really hope this plan works because otherwise they're gonna be giving 17 a bunch of energy. Super 17 begins laughing. What are they doing, another key attack? Don't they know he can just absorb it? I mean, they just saw that beforehand. But Ruta says he can only absorb so much. he can't absorb an attack like this. Of course, that's not the truth. They're just doing this to distract him, but they needed some sort of reason so he didn't get suspicious. 17 begins laughing, and he accepts their challenge. He leaves himself wide open, and they launch the beam right at him. He begins absorbing it, and this means he can't attack anyone at all right now. As he continues absorbing their energy, 16 then uses this opportunity to attack, wrapping himself around 17. Super 17 has no idea what's happening. He's being squeezed. And then, Android 16 disappears as all of his nanomachines enter 17. Super 17 falls to the ground. He doesn't know what's happening, and at the same time, Piccolo holds him there with magic, paralyzing him and trying to expel any sort of influence. This combination of a mechanical and a magical attack actually might work. Surprisingly, Super 17 begins morphing again, and suddenly, he separates. It's an explosive separation, and in the aftermath, they see an unconscious Android 17, and Android 16 as well, but his demeanor is completely different, and he tells them, it worked. Hellfighter 17 is merged with inside him. But isn't that a bad thing? That means Hellfighter 17 is probably controlling him. Well, no. 16's plan worked. They're able to expel any sort of evil influence from Hell. And even with that, 16 said he's so much more advanced than Hellfighter 17 that he's able to completely overcome any mechanical influence as well. He's working continuously to suppress the power, and eventually it's gone completely. Meaning he basically just absorbed some extra android parts, as well as any extra energy that he absorbed and any other extra powers. So, in a way, this just created Super 16. He became a lot stronger than before. So this is a win-win. He saved 17 by doing this, and he got stronger. They just hope that this won't have any side effects down the line, but for right now, it seems fine. And funny enough, this makes Super 16 the strongest fighter of the group, an ever-growing regenerative warrior with abilities and data from everyone around him, as well as a bunch of power that he just absorbed. This is going to be a pretty interesting thing to see in the future, especially with him fighting more and more. 17 then wakes up, confused and not knowing what happened or where he is. Instantly, he's berated by Ruta and Jade, yelling at him and getting mad for him going crazy, but everyone laughs it off and then they reconcile, filling 17 in on what happened, and he apologizes even though it wasn't really his fault. He just hopes he didn't cause any damage, especially to the island. And thankfully, damage was kept to a minimum. Sure, there was some fighting on the island, but no one died there and no one got injured. This includes animals as well, and there was no fights in the city. They're able to keep all the enemies from Hell away from that. They wanted to try avoiding using any sort of Dragon Balls after this, so they wanted to keep damage as low as possible. Of course, they couldn't prevent all damage, and no one got hurt or killed, so hey, it's a success. So for now, it seems everything's okay. Well, hopefully. Now they don't have to worry about anyone from Hell getting revenge ever again, which is weird because this is the second time it happened. But hey, who else is there that wants to get revenge on them? There's no way they're going to face any sort of vengeance in the future, right? I mean, the Tuffles have been stopped, Granola was stopped, there's no villains in Hell anymore. There's no way another villain is going to show up. Someone seeking vengeance for something, right? Well, let's ignore that for now and go over to Bardock. He sensed everything from his house and it seems that it's all calmed down, so it's good. Everything seemed to work out in the end. He and Gine are already feeling older and older, just as I discussed before. Every day that passes, Bardock feels a little bit slower than before. He even tries to keep training himself, but he can't train for as long or as intensely. He just wants to see where his power is and he can tell it's decreasing every day. He can't keep up with himself from before, and the worst part is, he's losing power. He even tries to go on the Ultra Instinct Omen, but it's completely gone. He used it in the last arc, but was barely able to tap into its full power. So that means right now, Super Saiyan Blue is his peak, and even that is fleeting. It's getting harder for him to maintain that form. So not only is his power decreasing in general, but he's losing access to forms and techniques that he had before. I mean, he's not too worried, like, he knew this was going to happen eventually. He was getting pretty old, and Saiyans age rapidly around this time. But still, he feels weak. He doesn't want to feel this way. He wants to be involved. And it also kind of saddens him a bit. Does this mean the end is drawing near for him and Gine as well? They've lived good lives and they come to terms with the fact that they might die of old age soon. But still, it leaves Bardock thinking, what's next for him and everyone else on Earth? Well, this series isn't over yet. I've still got a part or two left that I want to cover. But of course, that means this part's over for now, so we'll be covering all of that next time. So, what did you guys think about this part? And what do you think's going to happen? Leave any thoughts, suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out and see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of the series and continue it. And if you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as hitting the bell icon so you're notified about any future uploads on my channel, including more parts of the series or anything. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.